Shalom. Giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto those who like tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And I just wanted to do a response video. As I was watching the elder apostle Tahar, his video was premiering where he's actually responding to the breakdown that the IOIC did yesterday. And this is the video that this is the video that they was actually going into Christian dogma. And this is like almost 3 hours in. This was a pretty lengthy lesson, but this is around the part where Nate starts to go into the buying and the selling, all right, in respect to the mark of the beast. And mind you, every time a lot of these different Israelite groups go into this topic, they'll go into it and break down how it's not a literal mark, it's a spiritual mark, or the mark is sin, the mark is Christianity, all these different interpretations of what the mark is. But then the actual prophecy, all right, that John saw in the vision on the Isle of Patmos, he saw that people wasn't able to buy and sell without this particular mark. So we always pose the question to these other Israelite groups that teach that the mark is what they say it is. What does it have to do with buying and selling? What does sin have to do with you being able to buy and sell? What particular transgressions will be required in order for you to buy and sell in that day? And we normally never get an answer. All right, nobody never gives us a thorough answer, to that particular question. And now you got Nate finally going into the buying and selling aspect of the prophecy, right? So what I want to do is I'm just gonna go ahead and listen. And I got my palate senses. I make sure I turn on my palate senses. If you don't know what a palate is, just go to Google and search it up. Matter of fact, the scriptures give compares. Let me go to it real quick. It's gonna go to Sirach the 30. I want to say it's either the 36 or the 37 chapter. Let me try the 37 chapter real quick. Let me go to 36. Let me see. Here it is. Sirach 36. And I'll start at verse 18. It says, "The belly devoureth all meats, yet is one meat better than another. As the palate tasteth diverse kinds of venison, so doeth an heart of understanding false speeches." And that's why I said that. All right, I got my palate senses on right now. So based on what I hear, all right, if there's anything wrong with the taste, that's when we speak up. All right. The Apostle Tahar, he had his palate senses on when he was watching this and listening, and it prompted him to do a response lesson. So, I'm watching the Apostle, and it inspired me to, go and find the original video so that I can do my response, and Lord willing, this is edifying because, it's good that they're attempting to try to go into this. Now they finally going into the buying and selling aspect when, it went unanswered, for quite some time, so I guess now he finally then scrambled to some information to try to, put out there so that he can actually, finalize, his overall breakdown on this particular prophecy. All right. So let's listen to it real quick.
לא You passed it.
Let me see.
The second beast out of the earth.
No. It says needed to buy and sell.
Find it in the page.
Let me see. Lower it. Right there. Go ahead. Read right there.
Needed to buy and sell. While the word mark clearly has symbolic meaning, what if it also has literal meaning? After all, John says that it's...
And it's not a matter of what if, it actually is literal. All right, because the prophecy is stating that you will not be able to buy or sell without it. So it would have to be a physical mark. And how we know that? Well, you had previous systems set up in the ancient world where they had this this system of being able to cut out certain people if they didn't give reverence or show that they're actually in support of the system at the particular time that actually recommended or required you to receive this physical mark, and it was actually done in ivy leaf pen. So it would use the ink from the ivy leaf pen, and what they would do is they would actually brand mark you with it as a token to Dionysus. All right, so that was a system back then during the Greek Empire. So it was a physical, something physical that indicated that you were a participant of society, all right? And that would grant you citizenship. You would be able to go and do your transactions and go about your everyday daily life. But without it, it was a penalty for it. All right, so there's nothing new under the sun. So this would have to be a physical mark as well. So let's keep going.
Contemporaries were unable to buy or sell without this mark.
What?
The word for mark in the Greek is charagma, which means engraved, etched, or imprinted. Around the time that
and those are all what? Those are words to describe something that's been physically what? Cut into. All right. So it denotes something physical. All right, transpiring. Engraved, etched, imprinted. So that's something physical being done. So let's keep going.
Revelation was written, the Roman currencies being used had engravings of Caesar on them.
That's what we read earlier. Go ahead.
Mark 12:16.
Yeah, and even a word on that. Because that was a common thing, and that's showing you that there's no new thing under the sun. Just like you got the faces of your the Caesars, the early Caesars of Babylon, the early presidents. Where you had Ben Franklin and Abraham Lincoln and these different presidents on the face of your currency. All right, George Washington, which some people say that that's actually Adam Weishaupt, but either way, this is nothing new. They did it in the past. And matter of fact, when you read about that account with when the wicked Pharisees, they was coming to try to entangle Yahushua, and they was asking him if we should pay a tribute to Caesar, and they was trying to they was being assholes to the Lord because they was wondering what he was going to say, because the currency that they were using, which was at the time the Roman denarius, it had the face of Tiberius Caesar on it. But on the back of it, it had an inscription that basically says, Caesar Tiberius Augustus, son of the divine Augustus. All right, because Tiberius was the son of Augustus Caesar. And basically that, when it said divine son of Augustus, it's like a son of the divine Augustus. It's implying that Caesar Augustus had to have been a god. So we know that the law says there shall be no other God before me. So they was trying to use that tribute penny, if you will, to try to see what Yahweh Shai would say so that they can use it against him. So it wasn't an uncommon thing. They had Caesar's inscribed on their coins. And Yahweh Shai told them, render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and render to the Most High what is the Most High's. You paid your you use shekels, all right, of gold or silver, and you would use it, and to dedicate, or you would pay your tithes to the priest, and whatever else. But under the being up under the Roman Empire at the time, being a vassal under the Roman Empire, you had to pay tribute. So you had to pay your taxes in his money. All right. So anyway, let's keep going.
During Nero's reign, his portrait appeared on coins, appearing like the god Apollo, often inscribed with the words, Son of God. To John, as a former Jew, this was considered blasphemous.
Read.
Exodus 20, verse 4. Everyone rich and poor.
Which is why they tried to use that tribute penny to try to see if he's going to say something blasphemous. Because it would have been blasphemous if, Yahweh Shai didn't say what he said. If they wouldn't have accepted no other answer than when Yahweh Shai actually gave them. Because Yahweh Shai was in the spirit. He was far ahead. All right. They wasn't going to be able to trick him up, but they thought they can, they had all kind of counsels against the Lord to see how they can try to get him. And the Lord was just too witty for them. All right. But anyway, let's finish listening.
Slave and free had to use this Roman currency marked with the image of Nero. Rome openly proclaimed that its rulers, the Caesars, were divine gods or sons of God. All those under the jurisdiction of Rome, such as the early church, were required by law to publicly proclaim their allegiance to Caesar by burning a pinch of incense and declaring Caesar is Lord.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Upon compliance with this law, the people were given a papyrus document,
written paper,
called a libellus, which they were required to present when either stopped by the Roman police or attempting to engage in commerce. That's buying or selling in the Roman marketplace, increasing the difficulty of buying or selling without this mark.
So without that,
and I'm gonna hear Nate out, but so you want to tell me with everything being modernized, we have everything is ruled by technology now. You don't think that they have a far more advanced system that replicate this very implication that they were carrying out in the ancient Roman Empire based on what y'all are reading? We're at the trying to think of the word to use. I mean, pretty much according to the prophecy, this is the this is pretty much like the remodeling or the resurfacing of the Roman Empire. All right. The Roman Empire had to fall before it came back. During the time of Nero, this was before the fall of Rome. So when John got the revelation, all right, this was still during the time of the first beast. Romans 13, and I'm gonna just get straight to the point. This is Romans 13. Let me see. Romans 13 and 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon, which we already know. This is talking about the two-party beast system, all right, that gives the structure to America. All right, you have the Republicans and the Democrats. Formerly in the Roman Empire, you had the patricians and the plebeians. Okay, and of course, they rule, by law. They sign legislations, and normally, that's where their authority comes in. When they write things into law, that becomes, the authoritative policy that all people up under this particular system have to basically accept. So they have to follow up under it. Okay. It says he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So that means that the first beast, which was the Roman Empire, that was during the time when you had the actual 12 Caesars, the 12 feathers. When those Caesars was in power, that was the first beast, the dragon, the Roman Empire. Then it eventually ended up falling, and Jake ended up taking over. Then the beast ended up resurfacing. It reemerged on the scene, starting back with the Renaissance. And then it wasn't until the 1940s and 50s where you had both the NATO and the EU formulate. All right. So we're back. That same beast is back on the scene now, ruling as America, NATO, and the EU. So, of course, just like in the days of old, they would have similar concepts and certain systematic rule that they had back in the past, but it's now more advanced. Okay, it's modernized. We now have technology now. The Roman Empire back then didn't have the technology that we have today. So this is an even more better and effective way for them to be able to control buying and selling, going a digital route, because now they can see everything. Now that they can control what you have access to. All right, they can track and monitor your financial transactions. They can know what you're buying and what you're selling. Okay. So what John saw was into the future. He didn't see this wasn't happening as he was actually getting his vision. This clearly was far into the future. When you have visions, that means that you're seeing into the future, man. All right. The Lord, what does it say in Isaiah? Let me get it. Let's go to Isaiah. It's Isaiah 46 and starting at verse 9. And it says, remember the former things of old, for I am the most high power and there is none else. I am the most high and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times the things that are not yet done. Just like the vision that John saw on the Isle of Patmos. He saw things that were not done yet. All right. But he was actually seeing the end. He was witnessing the end. This is what, 90 something years AD, 95, 96 AD. So this was even after Caesar Nero came on the scene, decades after Nero. So I hope they're not bringing this information out to say that this prophecy was already fulfilled, because you would be in complete error if this is what y'all are saying with bringing this information out. All right. But if you're using this and qualifying it, but using it to say that, hey, this devil can be doing something very similar in this day and age under the current Roman setup, the current Roman Empire. And I mean, if you got some common sense, then you can easily see how the micro C-hip ties into it. Clearly, it will be very easy. But I'm sure they'll do anything in their power to not admit, the truth. Because then they'll have to agree that we've been right the whole time, and Nate is too prideful for that, But going back to Isaiah, all right, the Lord did this with all his prophets. All right, he declared the end from the beginning, from the very time that the Lord rose up prophets to go out and speak and prophesy, he was declaring the end. Some prophecies were fulfilled earlier than other prophecies. But there's a difference between something being contemporary and something being futuristic. And what you read in John, they were all future. It was mostly futuristic. All right, because when you read Revelation, the 10th chapter, you read about the similar encounter that he has with the angel, like Ezekiel had with the angel when the Lord rose him up. When the angel came down in the ship, and he was given that role that he was supposed to consume, and it was in his mouth, sweet like honey, but it was bitter in his belly. And then after he received it, he was supposed to go out and prophesy, which John the Revelator, there was no record of him going back out, as if he was bust back off of the Isle of Patmos, the salt mine island, and was brought back to population with the people and was out there prophesying. All right, so obviously that would mean in the last days he will be prophesying again. And all the prophets will be back in their lot, and they will be breaking these things down to you. So let's go from there and let's get was it Numbers? It is Numbers. Yeah, Numbers 12:6, it says, and he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I the Lord will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak to him in a dream. All the prophets, that's how, they're met by the Most High, man. Now let's go to Hosea 12. Hosea 12:10, it says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. All right, and he declares the end from the beginning. All right, and even Solomon said this, and it reads, the thing that I have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. All right, so you can use this information to say, look, this is what they did, back in their time during the first beast, when they made it hard for you to buy and sell if you didn't, use that coin that basically the inscription implied that the Caesar is God. And if you had that zeal and you didn't want to deal with that, then it would be hard for you to buy and sell with it. That's cool. All right. If that's what happened back then hey, that's good edification. That's good information. But you can definitely apply that to this day and age, because we're back in the Roman Empire again, and they're more technological now. So they're not going to be handing you coins, with Donald Trump on it. That's not what's going to go down. They're pushing blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, everything going digital. So how are you going to be able to buy and sell now? What direction are they moving in? And if you say it's talking about the minted coin, well, we've been using coins since we were brought into the earth. We've been buying and selling with this devil's quarters and nickels and dimes. His Federal Reserve note with his face on it. We've been using that. And I remember there was a bug out. I think he used to be formerly of the Atlanta camp, and he just bugged out, and he started teaching that money itself is the MOTB. Like, what are you talking about? So Yahweh Shai, when he was on the scene and he told them to render to Caesar what is Caesar's, you mean to tell me he's telling them, hey, take the mark of the beast and go and pay your taxes, and then, give to the Most High what is the Most High? No. Y'all would have to say that if you're saying that that's what the mark is, then you would be saying that the Lord was all right with using the mark of the beast to pay Caesar. Come on, man. So let's listen to a little more.
Coin, and you have to admit Caesar is Lord in order to buy and sell. So when we read in the Bible, that's how when they read it, they said, well, this is what's going on now. That man of sin was being revealed. And guess what? It's like a what? A ring. It's going to happen again. Just watch. Just watch what happens. From there. We're almost done. Isaiah 14.
Yeah, and it's going to happen when they finally make it mandatory to take that C hip. All right, they're gonna push even harder than they pushed you to take that dart, that jump shot. All right, that venom is going. They're gonna push way harder. Okay, and I wouldn't be surprised, like this whole little drone mystery psyop that they're using. I wouldn't be surprised if the drones play a role in the whole rollout. You know, where they're gonna have the technology on the drone to detect, you know, who has the charagma and who doesn't. And you're probably going to be getting harassed by those drones. Those drones will probably cut your power out or do something to try to make it hard for you to even live. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I'm speaking as a man. But we're going to see.
No, they didn't put chips in their brains. No. There was no microchips back then. No. Jesus is Lord. This does not compute. Caesar is Lord. Caesar.
Yeah, but they doing it now, though. Notice how they see. This is what I'm talking about with them, man. They'll throw little, jabs and, little slick little remarks or whatever, but they don't realize, because hey, listening is our art, man. We listen, right? You're using this information, and this is based on something that happened in the past. John the Revelator, what he saw was into the future. Of course, they didn't have microchip implant operations going on in the ancient world. Come on, man, stop. Like, it's actually corny. All right, it's getting a little corny, man. So that's obvious. But we're talking about now. Are people getting brain chips right now? Are people getting implants in their hand or in their arm to make purchases, to go into contactless, going into stores, convenience stores that have contactless payment systems set up? Yeah, you can go into a Panera Bread restaurant and they don't take cash. You can go into certain airports where some of these stores are just all digital. Certain gas stations, all digital. They're making everything digital for a reason. So, I mean, you can joke and mock, but at the end of the day, this is going to come back and bite you when it finally happens.
Guess what? It's like a what? A ring. It's going to happen again. Just watch. Just watch what happens. From there. We're almost done. Isaiah 14. Chips in their brain in ancient times? No, they didn't put chips in their brains. No. There was no microchips back then. No. Jesus is Lord. This does not compute. Caesar is Lord. Caesar is Lord. Isaiah 14:1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
So with all this, the Lord said he's going to have mercy on us. Why? Because of the sacrifice of Christ. All that Christ did brings us back to the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
And will yet choose Israel.
Yeah, he's going to yet choose us. Yeah, the people look at us, our people, they look at us people. How are you the people of God? He said he will yet choose us. Or we all jacked up. He said, I'm going to yet choose them. Go ahead.
And set them in their...
He didn't choose all of them because according to y'all, 2/3 of them are going to be in hell. You know? So the Lord, he's not going to choose Israel. He's just going to choose, I guess, IUIC. You know, the rest of Israel, they're not gonna receive mercy. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
own land.
And the Lord will set us in our own land. Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to obey. Go ahead.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
That's right.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
That's right.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
You know, Christians don't like this at all. This irks their nerve.
Are an holy people.
We are.
Okay, so I guess they didn't win a whole nother direction, unless, you know, because I wasn't gonna watch this whole thing, but I definitely want to get to this part. So them dealing with the buying and selling aspect, all right, and going into this history. It's a good read in my opinion, you know, to actually know this. But but like the scriptures say, you know, what was written aforetime was written for our learning. So in order to understand how this devil moved, look at how he moved in the past, you know? So it's not far-fetched to believe that he's going to try this out again, but in a different approach. We're in a more advanced technological era now, in which the scriptures say in Daniel that knowledge will be increased. And this is part of the reason why Esau so lifted up. You know, he's so self-exalted. You know, he thinks he's on the level of the Most High, but the Most High is what gave him that increase. Daniel 12:4 says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So that's why, you know, we are getting this dose of information. The technology is advancing. You got Chat GPT. You got all these different AI applications where, you know, basically you could figure literally everything out now, you know? And it says that in Ezekiel, the 28th chapter, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that could be hid from thee. So Esau, he has it right now. You think he's going to go back to the old concept of, you know, making sure that you get use his coin. If you want to be able to buy and sell, just use a coin with my face printed on it or minted on it. That's outdated, man. We're in a new era. The knowledge has increased. So what better way now than to use a microchip, all right, where he will be able to have it placed in your body so that he can use it for a recognition of ownership, where he can track you, trace you, have all your information, everything about you on it. You won't be able to dispose it like you can do a regular credit card or a debit card. It'll be literally implanted in you. And we always talk about the all. The CIB is basically the digital all. Because in the definition for charagma, it also has the definition that says the badge of servitude. All right. And we have a law on servitude. All right. Where if you wanted to serve your master, you loved your master, you would get a all bored through your ear. So let's get that real quick, and then we'll close it. Yeah, here it is. This is Deuteronomy 15, and I'll get straight to the point. Deuteronomy 15:16, it says, "And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee in thine house." Just like Jake, they love their master right now. They love Esau. They love this system. They love everything about Babylon. So a lot of them, you know, when they're faced with, you know, that moment, a lot of them, they ain't going to even think about it. They just going to just jump right in line, because they're not of the Lord's. You know, 2/3 of our people, you know, they're that multitude that's going to perish, because they're not of that cluster that the Lord made perfect for himself. So Esau, he can have them right now. They're going to come back on the other side. All right, they're not going to burn, in some secret place, for eternity. They're going to come back and they're going to wake up to everlasting shame and contempt. All right, but they're not going to be destroyed forever. All right, but going back, it says, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maid servant thou shalt do likewise. And that's all the purpose of that chip is. It serves that same purpose. You plant it in your hand or even in your head. And that makes you this devil's servant, and that makes him your master. And that's how the Lord's going to see it, and he's going to destroy you when he comes back. If you got it, okay, you're going to think that you're getting your life back. Everything is all convenient for you. Everything's going to go smooth all of a sudden, and then the Lord's going to pop up like a thief in the night. Everything's going to be stopped, and you're going to realize what the prophets have been warning you about was right on the money. And you ain't going to have no excuse because you knew the judgment. Revelation 14, Revelation 15. All right. You're going to torment right in front of Yahushua and his angels. So they have no sleep day nor night. That worship the image of the beast and receive his mark. And if he don't stop playing stupid, his zombies that's constantly consuming everything he brings out, they're gonna end up falling victim. And they ain't gonna have no excuses either. They can't say, well, he deceived me. Well, hey, you were supposed to, wake up. This man is constantly getting reproved. And you know what the scriptures say about a man that often being reproved. And also the Lord said the deceived and the deceivers are his. So I'm going to end off on that note. And, hopefully y'all were edified. I'm going to give all praise to y'all by Shema Shai. Shalom.